Welcome to Wall Street Confidential. I'm Farnoosh Torabi. Joining me is Jim Cramer, co-founder of TheStreet.com. Hi, Jim.
Thanks, how are you?
An announcement he's going to make for us here on Wall Street Confidential, your new 4 Horsemen.
Right now, I did this on Mad Money first, so I
Sure.
can't say it was a second on Wall Street Confidential, okay? And it's Raga, it's Research in Motion, it's Apple, it's Google, and it's Amazon. There's been a lot of controversy already. I was in Stock Picker this morning, and there's a lot of people saying that in the answers column, which I love to go to, that they're baffled. You know, and look, I have to keep my temper here when I say this. I don't want to be petulant, but you know, I didn't fall off a turnip truck. They're baffled because they're using old thinking. One of the recent old thinking. What's happened is historically from the 80s to the 90s is if we had a great growth stock, it could double and then double again and then double again. And then we got in this period post 2000 where stocks just don't double and then double again. So we start looking at them as opportunities to sell anytime they're up a lot. Now, the great thing about Wall Street is that periodically it swings back in favor of different views swing back in favor. And what I'm seeing right now, and the reason why I identified these new 4 horsemen is we are now starting to pay up for growth. We were starting to recognize that if Google grows at 33%, we can't give it a 25 multiple forever. We can't give it a multiple that is too low versus Procter versus Pepsi versus Coke when those companies are single-digit growers and Google is a 33% grower. Research in Motion is a big grower. Apple's a big grower. These are all big double-digit growers. Amazon, just suddenly out of nowhere, is a 15% grower. I was talking with my friend Erin Burnett this morning, and she was saying, Jim, aren't you being unrealistic that Amazon can go back to its old price? I don't think 35 points is unrealistic. These are stocks that are bet against, as is often the case. Hedge funds hate the idea of valuation. They always used to key on valuation in the 90s, and it's where they always got it wrong. Valuation is not a good reason to short. It actually had worked for a while, but it's not working now. I like all of these companies because, unlike Cisco, Dell, Intel, Microsoft, which had been the 4 horsemen, we've got no cyclicality here. Those all became cyclical. Cisco became cyclical and hostage to the telco spend cycle. To their CapEx, basically. Dell and Intel and Microsoft became hostage to the buying of PCs, which used to be a secular growth and is now a cyclical growth, or with periodically a new product cycle. There are no new product cycles coming from the old 4 horsemen. None. These new 4 horsemen all have product cycles or something secular going for them.
Well, you mentioned Dell and how they've become more cyclical, but they recently mentioned going and expanding into services as opposed to just hardware.
Well,
you see that as a...
I think that
could
the
they
issue...
make the 4 horsemen another time?
No, they can't. I mean, these 4 horsemen I expect to double. Dell could double because Michael Dell's back, but that's not a secular growth. That is actually a great man theory, and I believe in the great man theory in some ways. Michael Dell built a great company. He's come back. He didn't come back for no reason. What I think is really great about Dell is the skepticism with which he's being viewed. We caught 3 downgrades after he came back. I mean, that again represents the old thinking that I'm talking about. If Dell reignites its growth, you shouldn't be. I mean, can Dell grow at the pace of Research in Motion or Apple? No, absolutely not, because it doesn't have the kind of new products. But what it does have is the potential to have more gross margin than it's had, because Michael Dell is a master at finding ways on a nice revenue gain, not big, not huge double-digit revenue, on a nice revenue gain of making more profit. So I think getting off the Dell horse as well.
All right, thanks so much, Jim Cramer, on the 4 horsemen. This is Wall Street Confidential on TheStreet.com TV. Thanks for watching.